For this activity, we're going to look at how to blur the background. So we're really going to focus on the aperture mode of your camera. So the first thing you're going to want to do is set your camera to the aperture mode, which is A or AV, depending on what kind of camera you have. You're also going to need to set your ISO. So mine happens to have an ISO button on the top. Sometimes they're on the face of the camera right here. But I'm going to go ahead and change my ISO to 800. The room that I'm in is, it's daylight, but it's still kind of dark. So I'm going to set my ISO on 800 and I'm just going to leave that there. What we're going to adjust is the aperture. This is the aperture right here. It's the only thing that we'll have to adjust while we do this. So I'm going to go ahead and push down the shutter button, bring this back up, and I want to change this aperture to as high as it goes. Now I use this wheel right here to move it up. You can see the aperture is increasing on the wheel. So I'm going to go up as high as it'll go, which is 22. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to focus. I have these little guys set up across the table. They're about 6 inches apart each. I'm going to go ahead and focus on this little guy right here in the middle. So as I take the picture, I'm going to focus just on him, and you're going to see how the focus changes with each time I change the aperture setting. Now it's very important that you have your camera either on a tripod or set on a book or something so you don't have to touch the camera, because you're going to notice that this is 2 seconds. So that means the shutter stayed open for 2 seconds to get this picture with an aperture of 22. So you have to have a very steady hand for the picture not to blur. So that's the point of having this set either on a tripod or on the table or on a book or something. You're also going to notice that this picture is, you can see a lot of information in this picture. The black background is not very blurry. So that's my first picture in aperture setting. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on the shutter button just slightly. I'm going to take this down, and I'm actually going to take it down 3 notches. So it's going to go down to 16. So now the aperture is set at 16 and I'm going to take a picture. So this next image I took, the aperture was set at 16. And you're going to notice the shutter speed is getting a little faster. It is set at 1.3 seconds is how fast the shutter speed was. And you're going to notice when you take this picture there's a long delay. So you might have to do this a couple times before you kind of get the hang of it. Now I'm going to go ahead and rotate through these images. I went ahead and took all 6 of them. And I'm going to show you how, as you take each one and you stop down on your aperture, how different this is going to look. Whoops. Let me go ahead and get the other information up here. Okay. So now, as I rotate through these images, this is at the aperture set at 11, aperture set at 8, 5.6, 4.0, 2.8, and 2. And you're going to notice how the background gets blurry each time. So the higher the aperture, the less blurry the background. It also means that the shutter is going to be a lot slower. So you have to have a steady hand if you're shooting at a high aperture in sort of a dark room. Now you're going to take this information and you're going to go ahead and put it into some sort of slideshow or document presentation and include your camera information on there so we can all see. An example has been provided.